The golden chandelier light of the obsidian room usually felt like success to Elias Thorne, but tonight, it felt like a spotlight on a crime scene he hadn't yet realized he was part of. Elias, a self-made tech titan who had built an empire from a garage in Queens, sat across from Elena, a woman whose beauty was only matched by the sharp, calculated ambition she kept hidden behind a designer veil. He was celebrating a $10 billion merger, the pinnacle of a decade of sleepless nights. He thought he was sharing this triumph with the love of his life. He didn't know he was actually sitting with the person who had just signed his professional death warrant, Maya, a waitress who worked the late shift double to pay for her younger brother's specialized medical treatments, moved through the high-stakes silence of the restaurant like a ghost. She was invisible to the titans of industry, which was her greatest asset. As she refilled a water glass at a nearby booth occupied by two men in dark, ill-fitting suits, she heard the name Thorne. She lingered, wiping an already clean spot on the mahogany divider. She heard the words, offshore accounts, planted evidence, and the moment he signs the final digital authorization tonight, the SEC gets the tip. Then, she saw one of the men look toward Elias's table and nod. Elena, Elias's girlfriend, didn't just nod back, she gave a thin, triumphant smile that sent a chill down Maya's spine. Maya knew the stakes. She had grown up in the same neighborhood Elias often spoke about in interviews. She knew his foundation had saved the local community center where she'd learned to read. To the world, he was a billionaire. To her, he was the only person with power who hadn't forgotten where he came from. She had 5 minutes before the signature was scheduled to happen on Elias's tablet. Her manager was watching her like a hawk, and security was tight. If she caused a scene, she'd lose her job, her health insurance, and her brother's future. But if she stayed silent, a good man would be destroyed by the very greed he fought against. She took a deep breath, grabbed a small service notepad, and scribbled 6 words. As she approached Elias's table to offer a complimentary dessert menu, she intentionally tripped slightly, brushing against Elias's shoulder. In that split second of feigned clumsiness, she tucked the folded scrap of paper into the palm of his hand. Her eyes met his for a fraction of a second, not with the practiced deference of a server, but with the urgent intensity of a soldier in a foxhole. Elias, confused, felt the paper. He didn't open it immediately. He waited until Elena stepped away to the restroom to freshen up for their celebratory photo. Under the table, he unfolded the note. The handwriting was hurried, but the message was a thunderclap. Your girlfriend sold you out. They're in position. Elias didn't panic. You don't get to his level by folding under pressure. He looked around the room with new eyes. He saw the 2 men at the booth, not as diners, but as hunters. He saw the way his own security detail had been subtly repositioned. He realized that the digital merger document on his tablet wasn't a victory, it was a Trojan horse designed to frame him for massive embezzlement. When Elena returned, glowing with a predatory radiance, Elias didn't confront her. Instead, he played the part. He picked up the tablet, but instead of signing, he began a quiet, recorded monologue, ostensibly reflecting on their journey. He spoke about trust, about the neighborhood, and about how money changes people. As he spoke, he watched Elena's face. He saw the flicker of guilt replaced by the cold steel of a woman who had already spent the money she was about to steal. Then, he did something she didn't expect. He invited Maya over. This young lady has excellent timing, Elias said, his voice calm but vibrating with a hidden power. He looked at Maya, acknowledging her bravery. She reminded me that a legacy isn't built on signatures, but on character. He then turned the tablet around. He hadn't signed the merger. He had initiated a kill switch protocol he'd built into his company's mainframe years ago for a moment exactly like this. The merger was frozen, the offshore accounts were flagged, and a silent alarm had already summoned a private investigative team he trusted more than the police. The men in position realized the shift in the room's energy and tried to leave, but the restaurant doors were already being held by a different set of suits, Elias's actual loyalists. Elena's face drained of color as Elias stood up. He didn't yell. He didn't make a scene. He simply took the note Maya had written and laid it on the table. You sold a lion to wolves, he whispered, but you forgot that the lion knows the woods better than you do. In the aftermath, the headlines didn't talk about a billionaire's downfall, They talked about the waitress who saved an empire. Elias didn't just give Maya a tip, he changed her life's trajectory. He didn't just hand her money, though he ensured her brother received the best medical care in the country, he gave her a seat at the table. He hired her to lead his new community outreach division, recognizing that her situational awareness and moral courage were worth more than any MBA. The story serves as a powerful reminder that in a world of high-stakes deception, the most powerful weapon isn't a bank account or a legal team. It's the courage of an invisible person who chooses to do the right thing when no one is looking. Success is temporary, but integrity is the only currency that never devalues. Elias lost a girlfriend that night, but he gained a perspective that saved his soul. Your empire is only as strong as the people you choose to see.